At a time, stand for the pledge and a moment of prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we give you praise and thanksgiving for the blessings of this day and just the life itself. We pray for those that are less fortunate, those especially in California. Be with us as we deliberate our county affairs. Grant us your peace and mercy, all that we say and do. And we give you thanks for the blessings that we share. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. You gonna fix this here? No, I won't do that.
No, I just write it down. We can go to work while he's had to do this one.
Okay, we fixed.
Got it? Thank you. Bob to the rescue. Da, 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 da. Here he comes to save the day.
Okay,
Tony, you can have that. I got it. That's a short case.
okay, we've reached that point in the year where we are electing officers and appointing to committees, so open the floor for nominations.
I would just, I'll nominate you to remain as president and Corey vice president if.
So President, Vice President stays the same?
Yeah.
That's your motion?
Second. Yeah.
Second on that?
Moved and seconded to keep the officers as same as last year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, gentlemen.
By the way, here, Bob, just, sorry. I put the current committee assignments in front of you all. I'm not sure. I don't know if Lenny's on any right now. I'm not sure what Rex had been on. But as you look at those, here at some point today, if you want to, Dennis can have you all figure out if you want to keep the assignments like that or change them up or whatever you want to do.
An extra one.
Oh, I thought I gave you one. Go on.
I've been attending the solid waste,
You've been solid waste.
Yeah.
Okay, so you took that over for Rex.
Yeah.
So Lenny's name would be next to the solid waste. But we don't have to do that right this second. I just wanted to let you know they were in front of you. So that you can discuss that whenever Dennis deems necessary. Corey is on remotely. Can you hear us, Corey?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I just wanted to-
That's fine. I appreciate that. That's up.
Now we do the minute.
We need to approve the minutes from the December 10th meeting.
Or you want to approve?
Second.
Bob,
Who, motion first?
Fred.
Fred? So Fred and Bob?
Yeah.
Got it?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Megan is probably here for Mark. Yes,
Do we want to do the organization?
you already did.
Okay. Megan, front and center.
Appoint the council appointment to, what was that?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here, as the council is to have a member of BZA appointed. And Pat Laux has been your appointed, the last 12 years. We've asked him and he does want to be reappointed. He's been tremendous when it comes to leading the BZA as he's been the chairman. Great attendance record. He's been a great member. So Mark and I both request that he does be reappointed, but again, it's up to you guys. You guys have any questions?
We just need a motion for that, right?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to, retain Pat Lau as the, on the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Bob, second. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thanks for getting up early.
Thanks, Megan.
Have a good day.
Okay. Need you to sign that.
These guys all.
Sign up. I think you're the only one that signs the appointments. All right, Julie?
Yes.
So you'll have several of them after Julie Reed gets done. But that's the one Megan just did.
Okay.
So we have to take this up. They have to come in and sign it up in our.
So just can Google here. Richard, Julie, Marie?
Good morning. Happy 2025. Hope the new year is treating everyone well. The only thing I have today is the remainder of the board appointments. And right now we have Don Kuhn appointed as the Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals, the PETA-BOA Board, January 1st to December 31st of this year. John Summers on the Regional Sewer District Board, commencing January 1st of this year until December 31st of 2027. Mark Ripley, Parks and Recreation Board, term commences January 1st of 25, including December 31st of 2028. Toby Sprunger on the Alcoholic Beverage Board for a term commencing January 1st of 25 until December 31st of 25. And myself being renewed as council attorney for this coming year, commencing January 1st, 25 until December 31st of 2025. So for your consideration, these are all the appointments.
Can we do all those at once?
You may, unless somebody wants to pull one of them out.
Jim makes a motion.
Second.
Fred.
Have a motion before us. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
After you sign all those, I'll take them and then I'll take them upstairs. And
Thank you, gentlemen. That's all that I had this morning.
John, you'll have to come in and sign yours at some point. Julie Marie, sign yours now.
Yes.
All of these.
Next. I'm up next.
You're next.
All I have is the amended salary ordinance that was sent out. I would just seek a motion and a second on approving the amended salary ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
John and Fred. Say all in favor, say aye.
All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You get them all? Okay. I'll wait then. You want me to go ahead? I've got a couple other things here that actually kind of involve the sheriff. What doesn't involve the sheriff, right? Yeah. First of all, if you I emailed everybody this commissary fund report that by statute he has to provide, I think, twice a year. And that would that would be this that I emailed you, and I have a hard copy here that he's required to seek approval or acceptance of this report by council.
Any questions over that report?
In motion?
Are we becoming more in line with like-sized counties by way of salaries and things like that?
Yes and no. Here locally, some of the smaller departments have got some boosts. And I was going to be bringing that up with you guys come May time when we start doing budgets. We are trailing here locally around, but some like the southern counties, we might be equal to, but we are losing ground a little bit here locally. Wells County, Ossian, Decatur, they have all been bumped up here recently, and we're a little behind, and I plan on bringing that talk to you guys a little bit later on in early spring.
Accepting this.
But this report, like I said, it's required. I think there's a good chance this year through legislation, we're going to be doing that on a quarterly report too, instead of a semi-annual report. Just, it's a big report. Some of the councils across the state, they say it's better transparency that way, things like that. So we're dealing with legislators on that now, but the commissary statute could be changing a little bit. And that's one of the changes, is that's going to become a quarterly report. They were talking about doing it 3 times a year. It's like, well, what's the deadlines for 3 times a year? Let's just make it quarterly. It's just easy. So, but basically that goes along with the statutory requirements of commissary and then the ordinance that you guys provided of what I can spend commissary money on. So that's what that report shows.
It was emailed out, but we know how you email it, so.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the report.
I'll second.
John and who?
Lennon.
I need to, if you want to sign that, I'll pass that around for them all to
Need a
sign.
motion to approve the matter of record?
We got a motion second, we just need to vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey, Corey, once again, if you approve that salary ordinance, I can sign for you as remote, if that's all right with you.
Yep, go ahead. You can.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't know if this is the right time, but Sheriff, since you're there, thought I might ask. I've had a number of people calling me asking about this whole shooting range thing, and I don't want to get into that, but I guess my only question is I've been redirecting them back to you guys and the commissioners, saying that's not really something that's before council because we don't have there's no budget issue on that. I guess I just want to make sure that's accurate, that is not something that we expect to be in front of us for any reason, or do we think that'll be in front of us for some reason?
At this point, no. We have a third meeting at the BZA this Thursday night for a vote. There's going to be no public testimony or acceptance of information. They had one member missing last month, and it was a 2-2 tie, so it couldn't break the tie. So they're just going to vote on what has been presented in the last 2 meetings and vote for approval or denial, or they can send it back to us to try to mediate more. But it should not be a budgetary. We already own the property, and the opposition, they just don't want the range. They're fine with the building being used as a training center, but they don't want the range because I cannot guarantee 100% that a round will never come out of that range, which I can't guarantee that. I've done a NOAA study, and that's kind of put that to bed. The noise should not be a factor. I will have to make some improvements to it. We're going to be moving earth from behind the current jail site over there to make the berms, the backstops and things like that. We've got things worked out with County Highway. I have some funding that I can use to pay for that. So correct, there's not a budgetary item that will be coming in front of you. It's commissioners to allow BZA to do the special use privilege of that, because we don't have a use for a firing range in the county, so I'm filing for a special use. So you are correct. There's nothing that will come in front of you guys at this point. There is a little bit of a budget there still for that facility. That will be a talk that I will have to have you, if it's approved, to where if we keep that for heating, lighting, things like that. But as of right now, it's still kind of on hold until we get the action from the BCA.
Okay, thank you.
And then Sheriff, I believe your item is to approve the.
Yes, I had Tony email you our pay matrix for confinement deputies and dispatchers. That is what we make the budget off of every year. If there's changes to that, I just ask your approval of that record. It's just so you can look at and see who's getting paid what and why we're getting paid. So, but that was what the budget was approved off of. So I'm just asking for your approval of those documents of our pay
Everybody needs to
matrix.
see it. Maybe they get an email, it's right here if you need to see it.
Or any questions over the matrix.
Just follows along normal guidelines, correct?
Yeah, it just basically puts in the 3% raise. We did a shift diff and things like that. It just shows longevity, all that type of stuff. It hasn't changed the principle of the document.
Just showing how you're spending the money we approved.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the matrix.
Second.
Bob? Yeah, that's fine.
Moved and seconded to approve the dispatch hours as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That included the deputy and court. Are we doing those
Correct. It's all,
all of us
Yes.
together? Okay.
and the last thing, I don't know if it's doing it, but I have an additional from fixing the lit, PSAP lit.
That's gonna be next month.
Oh, that's not, okay.
We can't do it. They don't even have the additionals open in Gateway right now because it's January.
Understood.
So that'll be next month.
Any questions of me then?
Sheriff, you were gonna bring up the Motorola.
Oh,
grant.
yes. I put in for a grant to replace body cameras in the jails and our in-car camera systems. The models that we have now are pushing 8 to 9 years old and they are end of life. We are on-premise servers for our video storage right now. But all that does not work with the new equipment. We're staying with Motorola because Motorola is part of Flex. So all our video can merge into our RMS system, attachments, prosecutor's office. It's all one system. So we stayed with Motorola. I did receive a grant of $165,775. It is a reimbursement grant. So we basically have to pay for it, show receipts, installation, and then we get our money back. I guess my question to you is, obviously I don't have that type of funds in any of my budget lines. I'm wondering, can we either do county general or rainy day fund and then purchase
Go
it
right back in.
and then it'll go right back in.
Does that cover the entire cost of it?
It will cover all the hardware and first year's licensing, second year's licensing, and then the little bit left over, I'm going to divide over year 3, 4, and 5 because it's a 5-year deal. And they replace cameras at year 3 automatically at no cost to us. So it's going to pay for a lot of my 5 years, and then I will budget the year 3, 4, and 5 in my normal budget. And we also are not doing the on-premise anymore, so we don't have to buy a new server and maintain the server. It's cloud-based. Motorola is responsible for that, so when we have issues, we're dealing with Motorola. We're not dealing with our own IT because we would have to buy a whole new server. And I've already purchased more server space in my tenure already, and we were getting ready to have to purchase more. Decatur has already switched over to this, or will be switching over to this system also. We will, I think Burn's going to, they couldn't put it in because this came out after budget. So I think next year they're going to be switching over to it also. So soon we won't have to maintain a server for our WatchGuard system.
I was gonna ask, so each law enforcement entity within the county has their own
They
cameras?
will have their own. Right now, it's all on us. But under the new system, Decatur have their own cloud-based system. We have ours own. Burn
Equipment
switched to it.
too will be each entity's own equipment?
Correct.
Okay.
We're going to separate it out in front of them all being one right now.
Okay, so they're all paying for their own?
Correct.
This is for 2020.
So I just,
Yeah, no.
if something that you can give approval to where I can work with Tony of how we want to fund that when we're able to do that, Rainy day fund, I believe it takes both bodies approval to do it, or if you can give approval just out of county general to do it that way, and then we can move forward with it, and then when we get reimbursed, it'll go right back into county general.
If you decide on rainy day, you can do that, but then the commissioners would also have to agree to that as well. And I don't know off the top of my head where in county general we'd get that much from or anything. We'd have to look at it. But they can give approval either way today, and then that allows us to look and get.
County general is pretty healthy, I think, so.
Yeah,
I would go there.
But I guess I'll make a motion to approve it and for Sheriff and Tony to work together to wherever it makes sense for it to come from.
What's
Out
the
of county-
turnaround
out of County
time?
general.
Yeah.
Once we get, receipts and installation, it's rather quick, and I'm also, have a service that's managing the fund or the grant as far as, documentation, report writing on it, because I've never done this as a BGA grant, and I've never done one. So I've spent some commissary money to, have the professionals, program manage it basically. So that will also help. They're staying right on top of it. And once I get them receipts, they fill out the stuff, and then we'll get ACH payments right back into county general to wherever we put it.
A month, I'd say.
I would say a month or less, once we get the actual equipment.
Is this an additional, because it gets reimbursed or not? I mean, what is this? How does this work exactly?
I think reimbursables you just pay back. If we pay it out of the county general somewhere, I'd have to look and see where we end up paying it out of.
I'm in favor of taking out of county general, but I think we need
But
to
an
know.
additional would actually have to be
Right.
next month.
So that means, that's what I'm getting at, is I think we need to know that, obviously.
Yeah.
And, I mean, even though it gets reimbursed, we're still allocating some funds
Correct.
there, so.
But if we can find out where we want to take it from, we can do the paperwork, have it posted. So next meeting, you guys can approve that additional, and then we'll get it going.
If it is.
If it ends up being.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Tony, kind of maybe a crazy idea, but is it possible that the commissioners can just deem this to fit under some existing line item already, and then it's, when it gets reimbursed, it basically goes back to being available, or does that not work?
that would be the best way.
That is.
That way you wouldn't actually have to do an additional.
Right, we just need to, we'll just have to look and see where we have it available to come out of. And obviously, if the commissioners need to approve it out of something they need to approve, then both bodies will have approved it. We'll know more, later today.
So is that, would that happen soon, or would that?
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully finalize the order, put the order in maybe even today, and then, turnaround time is probably 2 to 4 weeks to get the hardware. Then there'll be some time that we'll have to set up with Mike, and also Mike is aware of this, and he is also in favor of going to the cloud base and not our own server stuff. So, I've been in contact with him, he knows this is coming. We just have to set up, the VPN through our network that the stuff will download up to the cloud.
Main reason I asked is just because if it's still early in the year, then we haven't spent much of the budget, and as Corey's talking about, we could just.
And not do an additional, just
Yeah,
spin
not
it
an
out and
additional.
put it back in.
And a reimbursement does not go back into that line item.
So, yeah, just find the line item though where it makes sense it can easily be shifted, hopefully.
It goes back into county general, not into the line item.
Oh,
And it may be possible, it wouldn't be new money or extra money, but you all would have to appropriate that money when we get reimbursed. You'd have to appropriate that.
and that's when it go back into that line item it's taken out of.
I don't know if it goes back in I don't know. I'll have to look into that because I'm not sure of. We've had other reimbursable grants like EMA and others that doesn't go back into the.
We would be appropriating it, but
Dan,
it
would
would,
you like to
it would
comment?
not be an additional,
Dan?
right?
Just a quick glance at our fund. Between Steve and I took a look at it. I don't know that we've got a couple line items that could cover it, especially this time of year, but I don't see anything that we could pull it out of. Especially if there's a question, because I know, like you said, that when it's reimbursed, it doesn't go back into a specific one.
The only reimbursement that does is insurance.
So it would be kind of tough, I think, for us to find a spot.
Well, after we go through the rules and stuff, just, I mean, find out what works the best, and if we can avoid an additional, I think we'd like to do that.
And we can figure that out later. I think right now, if you decide you want to pay it out of county general somewhere, we will look at that and see what's best and what we need to do. If we do need,
Isn't that what all reimbursements go back into anyway?
yeah, county general.
How can we pay it if we can't do an additional though,
You just have to appropriate it.
out of
It
general?
would be an appropriation. Like you have to account for the money that comes out of one, you have to account for it.
Like, if you remember, like, we get grants in sometimes, and they're grants that we've already approved, but then the money comes in, we have to still have to appropriate it.
You just have to appropriate it to the proper place.
So we can just give them the blessing.
Yeah, you can just, I think Bob's got a motion, and then if you approve this to be paid out of county general, we will look and see what that looks like or what we can do. And then when he gets the money reimbursed, then we'll take care of getting it back. to county general.
And out of county general, we might have to do an appropriation, or I'm sorry, an additional. Is that correct?
Say that
If
again.
it comes out of county general, then I need to do an additional for that, and then it gets paid back. Or if there's a spot in county general, the funds are already there, we can do that without an additional.
Yeah,
Honestly, that's.
That's
what
what I don't get.
So if there's a line item in county general that can absorb this amount for 2 months, we pay for it out of that line item. We get reimbursed, goes to county general, then you'd appropriate that money back into,
Without it being an additional.
and then it's not an additional.
But we don't have it's not budgeted anywhere for any purpose anywhere.
I think
That would be an additional.
I think the term, yeah, I think you're right, John. I think the term appropriation just means where money is allowed to be spent, and that can either happens through the budget or it happens through an additional. So I think terminology is getting a little bit confused, but if you can't just reimburse it back in, then it sounds like it's going to have to be an additional no matter what.
A little more lax.
Is that what you're saying, Tony? I get it
Yeah.
right?
So if we can find that.
And we'll get-
find a spot like that.
I can figure that out later. After the council and commissioners meetings today, I can get up there and look and figure this out. On what we need to do, and probably next meeting would be the one where we would do any appropriation that needs to be done or anything. Well, if you want to give the blessing.
But then for now, yeah, so basically for now, Sheriff, you could buy it as long as the commissioners approve that it counts as a claim out of some existing fund, and then we'll just do the additional to fill it back up again afterwards, after you decide which account. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Then why couldn't we?
That way you don't have to wait for us to actually do.
Why couldn't we approve as additionally brought for the repairs?
Because it has to be advertised.
No, okay.
It has to be advertised.
It's not even open yet to do.
In Gateway, you can't do an additional.
We'd have to advertise that.
Yeah, I'm still-
And I don't even
know how
think,
this
I don't
is
even
done.
think they have additionals open yet in
It
Gateway.
might be.
So it'll have to be next month for that.
Avoid it.
No.
So basically, looking for approval to explore the ways this can be paid, and if we can pay it without an additional, go for it, and then we can get reimbursed. And if it needs an additional, then we're gonna have to wait till next month. to bring
Advertise
that
for it
forward.
next month.
I'll second Bob's motion if you guys can figure out. You can go for it.
We'll sit in the office till we get it done.
Okay.
Have a motion before us to approve the process of handling these funds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thanks.
Minutes, how the ordinance is done.
Mhm.
Up to
Yeah, we've got everything, and unless you guys want to discuss that or leave it like it is or whatever you want to do with the bonus. I think everything else is. fair.
Another formality that we normally do at the first meeting of the year is approve the board assignments. that we've had in place for a year. I don't know if it needs a motion or not.
It depends on if everybody's happy with where they're at, then you can keep them as they are. You all got these. Is everything correct as to what everybody is serving on currently? Jim, you would have taken Kathy's by county services.
I actually go to more than that, but, I'd like to stay on those, but
And what are you, Plan Commission?
planning commission, I go to Parks and Rec, soil and water. Oh crap. Like there's one more in here.
Any additional ones that you guys have that isn't on here? Anybody else? Nope. Okay.
Fred, are you on community corrections?
Oh, community corrections,
Oh.
yeah. Thanks, Dan. I knew there was another one.
Sorry, Tony, I can't see the list, but I'm on the wage review and the EMA. Are those on there?
Yep, that's what we have for you down here. Yep. John, are you on something else besides community corrections board?
The solid, or the sewer district.
We're just gonna play them, I guess, but.
And the IT, is there anybody, are they still doing that?
They still do those occasionally.
An IT committee still, and Mike actually talked about getting together this Friday possible. So yeah, it has not been active for the last several months, but it's still.
I meet with Mike pretty regular, not as much lately, but, I know my intention is to keep on doing that and making those meetings, when they get fired back up again.
And I would suppose that if nobody wants to formally sit on it, that up to 3 of you can go to any of them that you want. You just can't make it a majority.
All I can say is it's always appreciated to have somebody from council there for sure.
Need a motion then?
If you want to vote on it, that's fine.
No, it's not necessary. But as far as I'm concerned,
I mean, I don't know that we need to take action and do a formal motion on their board assignments. I think we just, that's just what they are.
That's just what they are.
Only if there were, I only need to know if there's any changes or additions or anything before I put it in the minute. Other than that, I think we're good on that.
have we reached the point in time or other additions?
Other matters, nobody has any other matters.
Any other matters to be brought before us?
Got something I want to talk about real quickly.
Go ahead.
So in 2023, when we did the salary ordinance, we had a new employee that started in October. So she was missed for the 3% that you guys offered from 23 to 24 for all of 24. So we're just here to get your thoughts on retroactively offering her that increase in what she missed under what our current approved comp plan is.
So basically, I was under the understanding, at one point, there was a policy that the county had that if you didn't work within the first 6 months of the year, you weren't going to get your annual increase for the following year. And so when that employee, I think it was November when she started, budgets had been submitted. We did not put in for a 3% raise for her for 2024. Shannon caught that in December and brought that to my attention. Said that we would come before you. Last night, the advisory board for community corrections did approve that, pending your approval as well. And it's $1,200. So basically she'd get back pay for 2024's 3% increase, which is $1,200.
That's much better than mine. That's what we wanted to hear.
In addition, then that would be added to that amount, that base, 1,200 extra would be 3% more for this year as well.
And this is coming out of your,
Yeah, it's
we have no
project income.
control. We're just approving your recommendation.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to let the retroactive pay. It's their budget. It's go ran on grants, service fees, if they have it. I think it's-
Just real quick, I'm sure it's fine, but just to make sure the fund is operating in the positive, right? Like it's not gonna run out. I don't know the cash balance or anything like that, but it's not anywhere near running out. I assume 1,200 is not gonna make a difference, but just want to ask to be safe.
We're sitting pretty good right now, Corey.
Perfect, thank you.
I'll second.
Moved in second to approve the suggested pay increase. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, thanks.
Just FYI, I think everybody's probably heard by now that as of July 1st, all counties are required by statute to begin live streaming their meetings. And the last that I heard at the last conference I was at, that includes any meeting that is held in this room. Even the evening meetings, everything else right now. So Ethan had to kind of practice starting this live stream. So by the time July rolls around, we got it under where we can obey the law. So last week, the commissioners was live streamed. This week, this one and commissioners is live streamed. And he wasn't quite sure how it would flow from council to commissioners since there's a gap. So instead of turning it off, he said I should just mute the microphones so nothing would be heard. And then when he puts those recordings out there, he will take out that middle where there's that gap, and he'll put council and councils, commissioners and commissioners video of meetings. So just wanted to let you guys know that we are starting to practice on getting that live stream.
Do they have comment available?
Comments are not available.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking somebody's got to monitor this and.
There is no way we're having comments. That is disabled. Hey, wait a minute. Did we have an encumbrance we need to do for highway? 19,000 and something?
I don't know. If it was a paperwork, I mean, we've been jumped in.
I think we do. That is up in Linda's office.
You're good.
Could you? I was gonna bring it down, but I handed it back to her because I didn't know if Ian was gonna have anything or not. But I think we're okay on that. I'm glad I looked at Brad sitting out there because it's like 19,000 and something.
Yes, lots. Going that law that you just brought up, that affects community corrections and JRAC as well. So we're moving our meetings from community corrections office to the sheriff's department. We'll begin the recording and live stream as well in June. Actually, in April.
Judge is gonna look into that, ISA for mayor board meetings. If you hold, like, if anybody holds a meeting in this room, it has, and it's a public meeting, it has to be live streamed. If your room does not have the capability of doing so, I don't think they're forcing you to do it. That's the interpretation. Judge is gonna check with the court services, so we might not have to do that.
Perfect.
But any public meeting held in this room will have to be live streamed, like the BZA and any of those things, they're gonna have to live stream those public meetings. Because that's what this room is set up for. So we just have to keep that in mind with the meetings.
Community corrections next is April 7th, right?
I believe so, yes.
So it's gonna be out there or at the jail?
Well,
As of now.
As of right now, it's supposed to be at jail, but judge is gonna get a interpretation of, does it have to be moved there? If you have to move it to the facility where it can be live streamed, or if you normally have a meeting there, then you don't have to. So he's gonna get clarification.
Do we think that applies for the budget hearings that we have and then also the wage review that we do in the mornings?
I think it would just be an advertised public meeting. And the budget meeting that we have is not really a public meeting per se. I don't know that, I mean, I can check on that, but I think it's like Board of Zoning Appeals, Drainage Board, who else meets in here?
My understanding is any open door meeting,
Yeah.
is that's what falls under.
Yeah. Luke Britt spoke on that at the last conference.
So I think your budget hearing is an open door, it's open to the public if they want to come in, aren't they?
So it may be that we would have to. Of
It's open.
course, that's, did you find it? Okay. Okay, this. Feel like I'm holding class. I'm standing up. This. Okay. Community Crossings overpayment sent for the road project. $19,391.25 out of 1176-34-200. 0531 other contractual services. This will be paid back, but it has to be encumbered so they can pay it back. So it was an overpayment, and we would just need a motion, second, vote, and then sign it. Anybody want to see that information? Pass it around.
So basically, really quick, I'll try. So our community crossings, when NDOT gives us our money for those, the grants that we use, the project actually ended up coming in under what was estimated. So they send all the money, and then your project comes in under when you get all the bills and all the stone tickets figured up, and then so we just got to repay back what they had given us.
It's a reimbursement.
Just give them the $10 package.
Yeah,
75%.
they're paying back.
Well, they're
An
whatever.
overpayment.
Yeah, whatever's on.
Yeah.
The basically 19,000, just under 400.
Yeah, so it's money they gave us, we just got to give it back.
Didn't spend it all, gotta give it back. I'll make a motion to repay.
Second.
To reimburse the amount of $19,391.25. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We'll go ahead and sign that. I'll pass it around to them.
Pay with a credit card. Yours. Not on mine.
So let's make it right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, that's it. Signed it.
Reached our point in the agenda where we call for an adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to welcome Jim and Doug. I don't know if anybody said that already, but just glad to work with you guys and welcome back. So you guys have been in county government before, so looking forward to lots of exciting things and congratulations to you guys.
Who made the motion and second on adjournment? John Fred?
Yep, I'll second what Corey says. Welcome, fellas.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Happy New Year.
I will mute this. Thanks, Corey.